The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
7 games. Have you ever watched the movie The Ring before? 7 days. They pop the VCR in, you get a phone call saying you're going to die in 7 days. Well, are the Canucks going to die in 7 games? Are you allowed to say die on YouTube?
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
The Canucks might be teetering, but we're still here, baby. Welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks and also Canucks writer, currently with Daily Hive Vancouver. Before we get into it, we got to thank you for tuning into Locked On Canucks because it is your Canucks every damn day. We're part of that Locked On Podcast Network, and they're doing the most for sports fans across the world. And for our show, we're not here without you listening first and foremost, and we're also not here without those sponsors. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Kyle, I feel like you're feeling a little bit dark. I'm feeling a little bit dark because the Vancouver Canucks season seems to be hanging in the balance. I mean, they entered the season as Stanley Cup contenders. Tonight, they go against a lottery team, at least what should have been a lottery team, the Montreal Canadiens. But here we're going into the matchup, and the Canucks and Canadiens both have 18 wins on the season.
Holy
and this
shit.
is the start of a tough road ahead for the Vancouver Canucks. 5 on the road, then 2 more at home against the Kings and the Oilers. Let's get into the road ahead. What's going to happen with the Canucks season in terms of whether they win, whether they bomb out on this road trip, what we think they're going to do. We'll also get into some injury updates as well. And of course, let's end it maybe on a positive note and get to the GOATs of the week, baby. Before we get into all that, let me introduce my co-host, Kyle Bowen. How you feeling, brother? Give me your vibe check right now.
A little stressed, man. I'm not gonna lie, because like these games matter so much now, and the Canadians have the same amount of wins as us. Are you serious? The Anaheim Ducks have 17 wins. We have 18 wins. The Canucks haven't won back-to-back games in like 60 days. Like what is? Yeah, this is it. This is it. Straight up, this is do or die territory. I'm sorry. I don't trust the Vancouver Canucks to go 3-4, 2-5 on this 7-game stretch, right? 5 games on the road or whatever. Then you got to play the Kings and the Oilers. Like if they go 2-5 and are like 4 points out of a playoff spot with all this noise surrounding them, I don't know if they can do it. Straight up, I don't. This team is too new to winning. They're not. They don't have like that winning in their DNA yet. They have to get the job done now. But Trevor, all that pessimism aside, I will say I think they are. And I know they are. Why? Because Quinn Hughes is back in the lineup. And Quinn Hughes, his New Year's resolution was to get this team in the playoffs. Like, secure their spot, make them comfortable again. And he's one of the best players in the world. And it's up to the rest of the players. Are they going to follow this guy's lead, or are they going to make it harder for themselves? No, for real. We've said it like multiple times throughout the last like 10 days. If Quinn Hughes is doing it, you should do it too. And I know you can't be extraordinary like Quinn, but if he's putting in the work and not taking a shift off, you can't do it too. Cough, cough, JT Miller. Let's go. It's time. Quinn Hughes is coming back early from injury because, hey, the guy cares. He's your captain. He's one of the best players in the league. And don't worry, guys, the Canucks are making the playoffs.
Yeah, and it is interesting that Hughes is the one reportedly coming back. And what Rick Tocchet said this morning is that he doesn't think Pettersson will play tonight and that Hughes is a game-time decision, apparently at practice out in Montreal. Hughes was getting some work on the power play and Pettersson wasn't, which is one of the indicators that, they believe Hughes is probably a toss-up to play tonight against the Montreal Canadiens. Kyle, if Hughes is 70%, let's say, do you think the Canucks should be playing him tonight against the Montreal Canadiens?
Can you say that question again? You lagged in my ears just a bit. Say it one more time.
So if Hughes is at, like, say, 70% overall in terms of his health,
damn.
do you think he should be playing tonight against the Montreal Canadiens?
Hell yes, dude. It's do or die territory. He's the captain. And let's be real. Isn't JT Miller playing at 70%? Right? Didn't Dakota Joshua come back injured in the third period against Nashville? Why are they doing this? Because they know it. They know it. It's do or die time. And look at the comments, right? Vancouver's my life, straight from New West, saying, is Tocchet rushing Quinn? No, Quinn is rushing himself. He's making the calls here. He's the captain. He's the alpha of that team. It is what it is. This is what happens, right? When the Canucks don't have a 6-point cushion, an 8-point cushion. This is what happens when they don't win back-to-back games in 2 months. You know what I'm saying? You're not given that comfort of waiting a bit longer. It's just the truth.
Yeah, and again, that really shocked me to see this morning that the Canucks and the Canadiens had the same amount of wins. Now, Montreal has won 7 of their last 9 games, and they've beaten a number of good teams in the process, including the Florida Panthers, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Colorado Avalanche. And the Avalanche, when I believe, was on the second of a back-to-back on the road as well. So, look, this is a Canadian team that's running hot right now. And again, right now, if you look at the Canucks lineup, without Pettersson, right? Like, without Hughes is one thing. Like, it's the worst defense in the NHL on paper. But without Pettersson up front, if you don't have Pettersson in the lineup and you have JT Miller playing the way he's playing right now, not a scary team. This is like some 2017-18 Canucks when they had Bo Horvat in the lineup, right? And that's just the truth. I know the depth's a bit better on the wings, but you need your stars going for this team. You really do. And, Jake DeBrusk has been quiet for a little bit now. I know Besser was playing pretty well there in terms of at least getting goals, but overall, I don't think he's, been a noticeable factor from period to period, shift to shift. So, this is really, it has to be a statement road trip with the Vancouver Canucks. Yeah. And look, I'm not going to say that if they go, 1-4 on this road trip, that their season's over. Because you look at the Western Conference standings right now, and you could say that there's probably 4 teams battling for the second wildcard spot, right? If you believe that the Oilers, Knights, and Kings already have the Pacific locked up, there's 3 really good teams in the Central as well. Probably 4 if you include the Dallas Stars, the Jets, the Avalanche, and the Wild. It's 4 teams battling for one playoff spot, right? And it's the Vancouver Canucks, the Calgary Flames, and the Utah Hockey Club as well in there. So, I mean, it's not like there's a murderer's row in the Western Conference coming after the Vancouver Canucks. But that being said, you got to start piling up some wins somewhere else. The other team I left off is the St. Louis Blues. They're actually pushing for a wildcard spot right now. I'm really not a big believer in their squad personally. But if you're the Vancouver Canucks, I mean, look, again, we entered the season as Stanley Cup contenders, and here we are battling the freaking Calgary Flames and the Utah Hockey Club for a wildcard spot. I mean, kind of shows you where the team is right now. I still believe them to turn around, but man, oh man, like we keep saying that, and they got to show it sometime or other.
Dude, they got to show it, and they got to show with effort, man, and execution. Can we get back to the basics? And I know, Andrew, I see the comments, man. We've not been healthy the whole season. I get it. But you could definitely make the argument, healthy or not, they probably have a similar level of skill to the Calgary Flames when players are missing. But what is Calgary doing? They're just playing hard, giving this team a bit of a backbone, giving this team a bit of an identity. Now, that is the Calgary Flames. Whereas for us, I feel as if we've been so unpredictable, unable to tap into any sort of culture or any type of play style. And I feel as if this team's inability to stay humble throughout the season and this team's core's inability to do the same outside of Quinn Hughes, it has been so hindering, like they got to get back to the basics and work hard and stop pretending that they are this Stanley Cup contending team that can take it lightly and still manage wins. Like I again, 12 regulation losses in 30, 18, 12, and 8. What's the math there? 38 games. It's not the most horrid thing in the world, but at the same time, it's a sickening feeling watching this team unable to provide effort, shift in and shift out. And it comes again from the top to the bottom. Like Miller, like you've reached your quota when it comes to lackluster effort showcasing in your play on the ice, game in and game out. And I know you might be hurt, you may be this and you may be that, and I want to empathize just a bit, but now you got Quinn Hughes coming back early, and for sure Quinn Hughes is not going to take a shift off. He's not going to skate lightly to the bench or slow to the bench. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to escape a shift early. He's going to give it his all. And it's time for a couple of guys on this team to just let go of the ego, let go of the noise, and just follow Quinn Hughes' lead. It's like that is the time right now. And it actually starts from it goes to Rick Tocchet too. Like follow Quinn Hughes' lead. Stay composed, stay hard, hold these guys accountable, and let's go, man. Let's go.
Stay hard, man. That is the advice. Embrace the hard, Stay hard, take Viagra. Wait, can we say that on air? Do whatever you need to do to stay hard. Kyle, let's cut to break here. On the other side, I do want to talk about at least some projected lines going into tonight because There are going to be some changes to the lineup. Quinter Hughes, will he be in? Will he not be in? What's going on with Eric Brandstrom? There's been a recall as well to go to Joshua being injured. Let's get into all that on the other side.
Man.
You're listening to Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every damn day. We're here whether the team sucks or whether they're doing good. We got your back, baby. And then who else also has your back? FanDuel. All right, from big upsets to game-winning drives, the NFL playoffs are better with FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. The FanDuel app gives you everything you need for live bets, same game parlays, and so much more, okay? Kyle, I want to look it up quickly, but give me your thoughts. Like the Packers, they're going to be underdogs against the Eagles. What's happening there, man? Put your bias aside and what's happening with the Packers and the Eagles next weekend.
I think it's going to be close, man. I don't know who's going to win. I think the team who has the ball last is going to win. Like, all in all, though, I don't get, again, and maybe we'll talk more about this on the other side because it's been such an emotional year with the Canucks, but I tend to, like, empathize more with the Packers and their ups and downs, considering that they're a young team and the youngest in NFL. But here I am with the Canucks in year 2 of trying to win, and I'm, like, so hard on them. So, anyways, what I guess what I got to say is, dude, what would it be like? Packers plus 2.5? Take it? Would that be like the bet?
I'll check for you quickly, but I do have the line for the Canucks and Canadiens tonight. Believe it or not, the Canucks are slight favorites on the road in Montreal, going up against a team who has won 7 of the past 9 games. The Canucks have won 3 of their last 10 games. So, man, oh man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm feeling dark, man. I like the Canadiens, unbelievable. But I'm not betting on that. Come on, I don't bet against the Canucks. Unbelievable. For the Packers and Eagles, the Packers are 4.5-point dogs, plus 176 on the money line to win it all. So whether you're betting on the Canucks, Canadiens, Packers, or Eagles, make sure you do it all on FanDuel.com.
One love to FanDuel and go Pack Go. People, we back doing this, and that's talking about the Vancouver Canucks, and it's Trevor Beggs, it's Kyle Mount, it's a Don't Those Art Lab, and it's like the same talk, you know, the first 10 minutes of this episode, the same ish, like, let's get going, let's do this, let's do that, look at the comments, there's trying to be some rationale, and I want to go back and forth with Trevor, because I feel like the rationale can be understood, but we got no time for understanding. This one comes from Mike Laval. Okay, yo, Mike. Honestly, I'm proud of you, bro. Mike's been very optimistic this season. A lot kinder, a lot softer. I wish I could be a little soft like Mike right now because, again, I think I'm way too harsh on the Canucks. Look at this. Demko's missed the first 2 months. JT missed a month. Pettersson a few weeks. Demko a few months. Quinn Hughes a few games. Hronik almost going to be 2 months. We got I think Ian McIntyre said he's still 3 to 4 weeks away. Besser missed a couple of weeks. No team would survive that. The Canucks still in the playoff fight, still in the right around the playoff spot, and like we should be content, you know, because it could be way worse. But I don't know if a team can survive going another month without winning back-to-back games. I don't know if a team can survive going another month sucking ass at home ice. Like, it is time to shift it around. I'm sorry. It just is. Like, we had the few months of this team just holding on, right? That's the quota. Quota's been reached. It's time for the team to just string some wins together, do their thing, somehow find a way. And again, I think it's going to come off the back of Quinn Hughes. I really do. I'm positive. I think Quinn Hughes is going to win the Hart here in the next 7 games. But again, it's got to be like, can we go 5-2? Can we go 5-1-1? Please. This team needs that mojo.
Yeah, I mean, that would be we'd be changing the narrative completely here on Locked On Canucks if that was the case, and I'm all for it now. You know, Mike Laval's right, and I think I've said the same thing on the show. For the Canucks to still be in a playoff spot despite all they've gone through, like, they deserve some kudos for that. And you know, the loser point system in the NHL, you can have your quibbles about that, but the Canucks have managed to get a bunch of games past 60 minutes. They've lost a bunch of those games, but again, the loser point has really helped them out in terms of at least just keeping afloat in the Western Conference race here. But still, like, my biggest issue with this team, aside from everything that's gone on, is what Mother Knucker's pointing right out here in the comments. Let's not lose sight of the fact that our true top-tier players have underperformed and our bottom six has stepped up. And that is really the crux of the issue with the Canucks this year. Elias Pettersson, we're talking about, again, I've been one of the biggest Elias Pettersson supporters in this market, I feel like. But we're talking about a player who's underperformed for almost a year now, right? JT Miller hasn't scored an even strength goal since October. Okay, like, yeah, he might be laboring, he might be injured, but he's still in the lineup and looking like a shell of himself at points, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, this is the biggest issue with the Canucks overall, is that the star players have let them down. And again, they've got a lot of injuries right now, and you can't expect them to, win a bunch of hockey games when they're missing Hughes, Hronek, Pettersson, Demko. But at the end of the day, the star players that are in the lineup have kind of underperformed. And until JT Miller can hit that next gear, until Jake DeBrusk maybe finds more consistency, until Brock Besser can show some more shift-to-shift urgency. It pops up in the stat sheet, but maybe not so much when you watch him game to game. Until those things happen, this Canucks team is going to be more of a wild card team than a Stanley Cup contender.
And yeah, even so, that's all good. Even if you look again at the comments, the people, I like the positivity, guys. Thank you so much. This is Monday. Thanks for the love. Look at Carmen right here. To be honest, all we have to do is make the playoffs and be healthy, and anything can happen. Seeding doesn't mean shit. You got to beat the good teams to win the cup. And again, seeding doesn't really mean shit to me too. Okay. I think the Canucks, they went 2-2 against the Oilers on home ice. Okay. In that 7-game series, including a game 7 loss. Right. So I know that's the truth. And Mother Knucker's comments about the bottom over exceeding and just seeing consistent efforts from Teddy Bluger and Kiefer Sherwood. And I still believe in Dakota Joshua heavy. Again, I have all the time for Dakota Joshua, and it sucks that he got hurt because I feel as if he was just coming into his form. Not offensively, but being a nuisance. We need more of that. The floor on this team is there, and if the stars show up, there's still a lot here, okay? A lot. I believe that. F all this noise, okay? Straight up. Screw it. It's over. It really is. I don't want to hear any more. And Alvin, Rutherford, Tocchet, y'all got to be quiet too. And Pettersson, man, don't be walking away from no interviews too. Don't look broken. Y'all got to be a strong unit here. You know what I'm saying, Trevor? I know these people are human beings and blah, blah, blah. And the media gets to them, blah, blah, blah. And the media, it's hard to play here in Vancouver. Dude, just hold it down and be a good team right here. Be a unit. Be strong. No, for real. Be one. Because that's the way you get through adversity. You got to be one. Everyone's got to be tapped in. Everyone's got to be on the same page. And it goes all the way back to what I've been saying throughout this whole episode, okay? People who are watching this, listening to this, have some faith. The captain is back. This ain't no normal captain like Horvat, blah, blah, blah. Not the poo-poo on Naslin and Henrik, blah, blah. Dude, we're talking about one of the best players in the game. He's back in the lineup, coming back early. One of the best leaders in hockey, too. This guy takes it seriously. Isn't it ironic, bro? Isn't it ironic? Or what's the word I'm looking for? Ultra satisfying, understanding that the captain of this Vancouver Canucks team was able to elevate. He was able to stay humble, do the work in the offseason, while everyone else probably thought they were the shit, that they arrived. Hughes didn't think that. As Alvin said, Pettersson, you haven't accomplished shit yet. You're not even halfway there. Hughes understood the assignment and got better. And now he's back in the lineup. But it's now up to everyone else to follow suit. Oh, what's the problem with this team? Oh, what's going on? This year's not our year. No, just follow Quinn Hughes' lead starting now.
Amen to that, brother. Man, I want to give you the round of applause. That was inspiring.
Hey, man.
Do it for Quinn, Vancouver.
Do it for, dude, do it because you got a leader right in the room who's doing it, oh, what is he doing? I'm going to do that too. It's not that hard. It's not and the whole Pettersson too, he's been called out on his preparation and whatnot. And Miller's been called out on his game to game effort. And it's dude, how are you not just feeding off of what Quinn Hughes is doing? And the only answer is these guys have egos. They think they know how to handle their shit. They think they know that they're the best of the best. You're not the best of the best. Take advantage of the fact that somebody is better than you in that room and just follow suit. That's how you get better.
The Athletic needs to come up with one of those lists again and, call Pettersson and Miller, tier 3B or 4C players. Maybe that's the motivation they need. I worked for Quinn Hughes last year. Maybe someone needs to tell Pettersson and Miller that they aren't that good.
We got it.
Got Kyle, quickly
Got it.
before we cut to break here, let's talk a bit about the lineups heading into
Yeah.
Montreal tonight. So Dakota Joshua has been placed on IR. Tonga said week to week, but then you said it's more like 8 to 9 days instead of 3
What?
weeks. So we'll
Oh.
take for that what you will. I mean, Dakota Joshua, obviously, he showed a lot of fight in that Nashville game, literally fighting Michael McCarron, one of the few guys in the league bigger than him, and then falling in an awkward collision in the second period, returning hurt. And then obviously needs to miss some time now. So the Canucks have recalled Jonathan Lekarmaki on an emergency basis. Now, the Abbotsford Canucks have been on a bit of a slide too. They've lost their last 6 games. Jonathan Lekarmaki in those 6 games does have 3 goals. He's still piling up the shots, but he's a -5 in those 6 games as well. So, look, I'm excited to see another version of Jonathan Lekarmaki, to see him get another chance up here. Curious to see where he slots into the lineup. I'm kind of hoping that they throw some juice onto I don't know, maybe onto a line with Miller, like shake up that top line with DeBrusk and Best. I know the underlying numbers are good, but they just haven't produced. They haven't looked all that dangerous. But curious to see him at least get another chance tonight. The other line of thing I wanted to throw by you, Kyle, is Eric Brandstrom. So Eric Brandstrom, statistically, in terms of the underlying, has been the Canucks' best defenseman, aside from Hughes and Hronik. Some even think that he's been better than Hronik, but I don't believe that's the case.
No way.
Just that's what the nerds are saying. But where you at on Eric Brandstrom? Because now he's, did he play? I don't think he played a single game last week, if I'm not mistaken. No, sorry, you missed the last 2 games, Seattle and Nashville. Where are you at on this guy? Like, just based on some projected lines tonight, it's hard to know because they're on the road, but it looks like he may be out again. Where is Eric Brandstrom, and do you feel like he should be in the lineup?
I think this team's inability to just hold Noah Juleson accountable is actually hurting Noah Juleson. He's got to be way better, way more consistent. Also, Tocchet's inability to just get off on his philosophy on these tall, bulky defensemen is going to hinder this team straight up. He's again, it's Tocchet's got a lot of adapting to do, and not to segue too much to something else, but it's similar to the whole power play thing too, right? Let go of it. You're not that guy, Maybe you're not that guy to make the choice on only prioritizing tall, girthy defensemen. All that being said, the easy answer is this: Eric Brandstrom should be in the lineup more, not based on recent history, but based on the fact that he did put a stretch of games together where he was reliable and providing value. He's done so more than Noah Juleson. That being said, we got to think about solutions. We got to just ride the positive here. Trevor Beggs, it's quite obvious that what they're trying to do here is have Noah Juleson have I wouldn't say a boat of confidence, but a boat of security from the coaching staff to allow him to find his game. Similar to, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but similar to what we've seen over the last 3 to 4 games with Vincent Desharnais, right? Because he could have been a healthy scratch, but they rode him. They rode Vincent Desharnais hard, and now he's playing a little bit better. And I think that's what they're trying to do with Noah Juleson. That being said, it's still it's so weird how we're okay with going with Myers, Desharnais, Juleson being everyday NHLers, all while Carson Soucy, who played good, was playing decent for a while, but now is back to struggling, is also in the lineup. It's where's the accountability?
Yeah.
Why is it only on Brandstrom? Because he's short?
Yeah.
Straight up. That's the only answer. It's weird as hell, yo.
Short guy bias for sure. And yeah, Carson Soucy and Noah Juleson really had their ice time dialed back in that game against the Preds, whereas at forward and Desharnais got a bunch more minutes than Desharnais. Inexplicably, well, I think he actually deserved it, but he led the team in even strength ice time, which is almost crazy to think about from where he started the season. So yeah, I think Eric Brandstrom deserves to get back into the lineup. I know it's a bit tough because they're just so in love with playing left shot guys on their left side. So, it's hard to take Carson Soucy out right now. It's hard, but I would lean towards you, Kyle. You take Noah Juleson out maybe for a game, put Brandstrom back in, and then just play Soucy or forward on their offside or Brandstrom on his offside. Again, I think you got to hold guys accountable, and that's more important than left or right shot symmetry. At least come on.
And bro, again, Rick Tocchet, man, the power play has been the kryptonite for the Vancouver Canucks for 12 or 13 months, right? And well, let's not exaggerate, 11 months. the fact that you did not have Quinn Hughes and then you chose to like not play Eric Brandstrom and have Susie and Myers on the power play, then you also had the audacity to tell like the media, like, oh, I thought Tyler Myers played well in the power play. Why? Because he would just fucking, oh, my bad. Okay, my bad. You know,
getting heated
because he was just taking slap shots from the point. When a few days earlier on New Year's Eve, I know Brandstrom struggled against Calgary, but there he is on the power play, feeding it over to, if I'm correct, but didn't he sauce it over to Miller? Miller gives it to Besser. You know, like just a little bit of playmaking. This team needs some offense. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what they need. They need offense. They don't need to play it safe. It's kind of weird to me, bro. What, like the person who's taking the biggest step, like who's taking a bigger step back this season? Or hasn't progressed? Elias Pettersson or Rick Tocchet? Because to me, it's Rick Tocchet. He's been dealt a hard hand. No, a lot of injuries and whatnot. But when you make bonehead decisions like that, and then you're not hitting on all your switches. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it be line combinations or who you call up or doing this, plugging this guy in, minutes, blah. Like a lot of that stuff is not really working right now, and we need his decision making to work.
Yeah, that's a tough question. I'm actually going to say Pettersson is probably taking the biggest step back between the two, but that's certainly a debate. I just expect Pettersson to be a 100-plus point guy, and he has not performed like that, aside from one 10-game stretch so far this season. Kyle, let's cut to break. We're going to end on the other side with Go to the Week and get to some comments as well. I see lots of comments popping up here. I'm seeing 69 comments I haven't read yet. Nice number. You're listening to Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every damn day. We'll be back on the other side after showing at our friends over at Rocket Money. Did Rocket Money help you find any subscriptions you forgot about or that you were paying for twice? That happened to me, baby. I had a few subscriptions that I didn't even realize I was still paying for. What an idiot. And Rocket Money, they helped me out, man. They made it so easy to track them all down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitor your spending, and help lower your bills so you can grow your savings, baby. It brings everything together in one place, whether it's subscriptions, your spending habits, or even the goals you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Look, that can even pay for Elias Pettersson's contract. Oh my God. Saving members up to $740 a year, all while using the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions today and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks, trying to manifest the positive vibes. I know we got a little emotional there. I know I just swore at Tyler Myers. And I'm sorry, man. It is what it is, but don't Rick Tocchet, don't try fooling me, man. Just don't do it. Oh, Tyler Myers played well. He was taking some slap shots from the point. Bro, how many slap shot goals has Tyler Myers scored over the last 7 years? We need somebody to, like, when Quinn Hughes is out of the lineup, we need somebody to be a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Telepathic? No, telepathic. Someone that can be cohesive, giving the puck to Miller on the half wall when you're missing all the pieces. Not somebody just, I don't know. Anyways, man, it hasn't been the most perfect Canucks season yet. But hey, we have a lot of games left. We do. And I'm excited, man. Like, again, here's the blessing, guys. Hit the like button for this. It could be way worse. We could be like 6 points out considering all of the above, all the injuries, all the ups and downs. But we're right in the mix, which means all these games matter. All these games are going to give you a little bit of those butterflies in the stomach. And hockey mattering again is still something that I'm going to hold on with a lot of love because it wasn't that long ago where it didn't. You know, like we're just pressing the lottery button and looking at like rather watch Abbotsford Canucks games than Vancouver Canucks games, right? Like it's not the worst thing. And I'm excited about tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited about tonight too. I mean, Kyle, it's the games really do matter right now for the Canucks. And, you know, unlike last season where they didn't necessarily matter because the Canucks had such a big lead. I mean, you know, the games are exciting right now in the sense that the Canucks need to freaking win hockey games. And again, this is going to be really the toughest test of the season. This road trip and the couple coming up at home against the Kings and Oilers, 2 against the Oilers in January as well, might I add. This is really, again, maybe not do or die time for the Canucks on the road, but man, oh man, things could get off the rails quick if they don't at least go 500 on this road trip. But that's for what's coming up. Let's get back to what happened last week with our segment called The Goats of the Week. All right, the Goats of the Week, where we rank the 5 best Canucks from last week, with 1 getting 5 points, 5 getting 1 point. And Kyle, I'm going to rip through this quick, and then I want to tell you kind of the overall yearly standings. I think it says something about the Canucks so far this season. But in terms of last week, not going to lie, it was slim pickings. Only one player had more than 1 point, and that was JT Miller. He does make an appearance at number 5 on the list. Again, not really the best week from JT Miller, but he did. He dropped the gloves to try to spark the team against Calgary. He gets an assist in that game. He gets an assist in the Seattle game, scores a shootout winner. Not the best week from JT Miller, but again, it wasn't the best week from a number of Canucks. But he does make an appearance on Goats of the Week here. Number 4, man, and I can't believe I'm doing this. Vinny Desharnais makes it onto the Goats of the Week list. This was the best hockey by far that Vincent Desharnais has played with the Vancouver Canucks, all right? Again, he led the team in even strength ice time against the Nashville Predators. I thought, again, he had a pretty damn good game there overall, despite being on the ice for the only even strength goal against. And that one really wasn't his fault. But you're seeing more calmness from Vinny Desharnais with the puck. Not quite the same bombastic nature in his game, and just overall making some smart plays out there. I mean, it would have been something else if he set up Jake DeBrusk for the OT winner against the Seattle Kraken, but it wasn't quite meant to be. Number 3 on the list, I have Nils Höglander. Now, Nils Höglander, he finally got back on the score sheet with 1 assist last week. But really, this has been about the best hockey we've seen from Nils Höglander since the first couple weeks of the season. I mean, what do you have? 23 games at a point. But he at least looked like you've shown some tenacity and looked a little better last week overall. Number 2, I have Connor Garland. I think he was easily the Canucks' best skater once again. Connor Garland, when the Rick Tocchet needs a bump, he's sending Connor Garland on the ice. Scored a sick goal against the Seattle Kraken, and again, just generally been a buzz out there. And for Connor Garland, he got about 10 games without a goal, but now has goals against the Kraken twice on breakaways. Philip Grubauer, we're gonna be having nightmares about that guy. And at number 1, this is a bit of an easy one for me, but Kevin Lankinen back at number 1 on the Goats of the Week rankings. Played 2.5 games last week. Looked really good in relief at Thatcher Demko. Probably, I think there's a good chance, if there's not that one breakdown by the Canucks, that game against Nashville goes into overtime 0-0. So Kevin Lankinen has just done it all season long, baby. But I do want to look at the Goats of the Week rankings here quick. I'll flash up for the YouTube listeners, but the reason I want to point this out is I want you to find JT Miller on this list, Kyle. And I know JT Miller missed 10 games this season, but JT Miller is 14th on our Goats of the Week rankings. Again, you got Quinn Hughes at number 1, Langton number 2, Sherwood number 3, Garland 4, Pettersson 5, Bluger, Suter, DeBrusk, Demko, Besser, Hronek, Höglander, Brandstrom, and then JT Miller. And this says something about the Vancouver Canucks this season, right? When we did this last year, it was clearly Miller and Hughes, the top 2 dogs in the Canucks, followed by Pettersson and Demko. And this season, I mean, look, it's nice that we have good seasons from Garland and Sherwood, and Bluger and Suter have done their thing, but when I see, Jake DeBrusk at 8th overall on this list, Besser at 10th, Miller at 14th, Pettersson barely cracking the top 5. It says something about the Canucks this season. The depth has been there. The stars have let them down.
100%. And it's time for that to change. And again, I'd love to see what the commenters, and maybe you can do this in the post, like when the episode is published, but again, I'm not stupid and dumb. And again, emphasizing the importance of these guys just following Quinn's lead. Like, if Quinn's doing it, y'all should be doing it too. Like, y'all have been losing for the exact same amount of time, and winning for the exact same amount of time. Yet, one guy on this team clearly took the offseason seriously. Follow his lead. It's that time, man. It's not that hard, man. And Quinn, I think Quinn's a good leader. Like, maybe he's not the most vocal guy and whatnot, but based on what he has already done this season, and now he's coming back from injury early, I think that if he's able to still play at that top end level, being a little hurt, it's gonna put everyone on notice. And I hope everyone follows your lead. And Like, I know the second half of the season hasn't officially started, but it feels like that. It feels like that. It really has. Like, today marks it. It really does. And I hope that everyone follows suit. And it's time, man. Miller and Pettersson, you guys make $20 million combined. Put your differences aside right now, ASAP, and bring it. You know what I'm saying? And bring it. And none of this, okay? Look at this. Sound for Souls thing. Sorry, folks. Realist here. 4-2 Montreal. Get out of here, man. I love you. You've been a fan of the show for a long time. But, yo, we don't need that energy here, man. We're trying to pick up 2 points and actually eat some hot dogs in April and May. Watching Canucks games. It's quite simple, man. I want to shove a lot of wieners in my mouth watching this game play spring hockey, okay? And with that energy, if you believe in manifestation, bro, you dark right now. You darker than Trevor, man. So sound for soul. Dude, your soul, I don't even want, like, what sound are you hearing in your soul? Asshole.
He's hearing this one, man. All right, Kyle, I do want to get a couple more comments before we get out of here. And I think a couple are going to end on a bit more of a positive note. Let's throw it to the listeners, baby. 2 comments here, and I'm going to bring up this one first from James Moore, saying he's got multiple friends in Montreal who are scrambling to get last-minute tickets to the game because they hope to see Quinn Hughes play. He says he is the bee's knees, and we're lucky to have him. I got to bring up this story from being at the Flames game in Calgary, Kyle. So sitting beside a pretty dope Calgary Flames fan named Ethan, sharp guy, and seemed to know the game pretty well. And he was talking about how he was disappointed Quinn Hughes wasn't in the lineup, and he started comparing Quinn Hughes to Connor McDavid. This is coming from a Flames fan, man. And that's what I wanted to hear, because in Vancouver, we know how good this guy is, but sometimes across the rest of the league, you know, you think he's a good defenseman, but he's not better than McCarr. But to hear a Calgary Flames fan mention Hughes and McDavid in the same breath, that meant something to me, man, okay? Again, we got one of the best damn players in the NHL on our roster. One of the best, no, scratch that, the best defenseman in the NHL on our roster.
Dude,
and
he is like McDavid.
That's going to do something for the Vancouver Canucks. There we go.
He is like
exactly.
McDavid. He just carries the puck, does his thing, does whatever he wants. Like, he's that type of mojo right now. He's like McDavid. Obviously, McDavid's a tier, but like, he's better. Drives, like, you know, I get it. But like, the fact that Hughes game in and game out, ironically, outside of games against the Oilers, like, he's just that guy. He has the puck on his stick, and it's like, okay, now we got to play not an NHL game, but a Quinn Hughes game. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Now let's end up with a couple more positive comments here. Joseph Kramer saying, boys, tonight is the game for them to turn it all around. This is it. Unleash the beast. I love it. I like the energy. I mean, I want to see them beat. You know, the Canadiens are hot right now. Winning against this hot Canadian teams would mean something to the Canucks. They would have to keep it going after tonight, though. That's for sure. And then Carmen Grell saying, for the playoffs, just get in. Screw home ice. We're better on the road. Seeding doesn't matter. And Zarfia Bear ending it with this comment right here. This year or next, we will definitely win a cup. Come on, man. This is still a Stanley Cup contending team who has gone through a lot this season. Put in that good juju, that good energy out in the atmosphere. And go Canucks, go, baby. Kyle and I will be live on the post game after this game against the Canadiens to talk about a Canucks win. Let's go, buddy.
There you go, man. There you go. And sound for soul, okay? I was about to call you asshole, okay? I didn't. It's all love here. You're entitled to your own opinion. It's all Canucks fans. We're all together. I know for sure. Like, you seem like the type of guy that even though you said 4-2 Montreal, yo, you're gonna be going to sleep at night better tonight if the Canucks won 4-2. Like, we're all on the same page here, okay? It is what it is, but just be more positive, man. That's what our neighbors need right now. Like, let's just do it. Let's just try, okay? As Trevor alluded to in the comments, like, we've been through a lot and we're still in the playoffs, but like, give kudos to that, and let's see Quinn Hughes do his thing tonight. Anyways, hit the like button. Please do. It really helps us out a lot. Again, just you make our dreams come true just by being here. And if you hit the like button, dude, then I get one step closer to buying a library. So do that, and one love. Begsy, sign us out.
There we go. Shout out to everyone listening, from the everydayers to the first time listeners and everyone in between. We appreciate the hell out of you for tuning into Locked On Canucks, whether you're on YouTube Live or on the podcast side. If you're on YouTube, go subscribe and like this video. We love you for it. On the podcast side, we would also love you if you followed us and left a 5-star review. Again, Kyle and I are going to do our best to be on the post-game show tonight, and we're going to be here tomorrow because it's Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every damn day. But for now, we got to get out of here. I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Kyle Bowden, and you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.